have to go back to Brazil though.
Oh, twist my arm. I love Brazil.
Can we go now?
Já tô aqui no aeroporto, daqui a pouquinho, e algumas escalas pela frente. Estarei no México para entrevistar o elenco de Barbie. Eu ia falar que eu não tenho nem roupa pra isso, mas eu comprei roupa especialmente pra isso. Eu fiz as minhas unhas especialmente pra isso. Então, dias de glória, dias de glória. Bora. Tô pronta pra ir falar com a Barbie e o Ken. Ai, gente, olha esse lookinho. A make. Tô aqui esperando pra entrar. A sala é essa aqui. Tô ansiosa, mas também tô calma e plena, confiante que vai dar tudo certo. Let's do this.
Oh,
Where from?
Where'd you come from?
Brazil. It's not supposed to
Oh,
be 30
wow.
I was about
hours.
to say it. It
Yeah.
shouldn't be that long.
Delayed flight,
Oh,
but
I'm
you know it's
sorry.
fine. I'm here with you now, so it's good.
Okay. Do you need
So-
some coffee?
Oh no, I'm
Do you-
fine. I'm fine. I'm going home tonight, so
Hopefully all the bright sets will just like wake you up and
yeah, but it's fine.
We became best friends.
So thank you so much for making this movie. It's the first thing that I want to say to you guys because Barbie doll is a staple. Like I've had them since childhood and I still have some today. So I wanted to ask you, Margot, but you too, like what was your first contact with the Barbie doll and the movie?
I can't remember the first time I saw a Barbie doll. They were just kind of omnipresent growing up. You'd go to someone's house, they usually had a Barbie doll somewhere. I don't know if I owned my own Barbie, but my cousin did, and I remember they were not pristine and well kept. They were like being thrown in the dirt. But we had a lot of fun. Loved them. Yeah.
That's good. How about you, Ryan? Did you?
Barbie's just always been there. Not in my house specifically. My sister didn't play with Barbies because she kind of was Barbie. She was doing all the things all the time, running the school, our house. So I feel like I kind of grew up in Barbie land in a way. So I
That's
felt
nice.
very at home when I got to the set.
I actually didn't play with Barbies as a kid. It was very inaccessible. We couldn't afford them. Also, like, I don't know that I felt necessarily represented in the Barbie world. So no, I didn't really have that deep connection, but I was intrigued about the project mainly because of Greta and Margot's involvement and just how talented and thoughtful and strong as storytellers they are. And once I read the script, then I was just sold hook, line, and sinker. So unexpected for a
So
Barbie
did
movie.
it change your perspective about the Barbie doll, the movie?
It was interesting to explore it. I mean, I think the most interesting thing that I had never thought about in terms of Barbie is she has a very long legacy, 60 plus years, and she's meant different things at different times. There are moments in her legacy that she's been revolutionary. The fact that she was the first mass-produced doll that girls could play with that wasn't a baby doll, that the only role a girl could play was mom.
Yeah.
And now there was an adult Barbie that they could project their aspirations onto. Like, that was a revolution at the time. What's really, I think, remarkable about this moment for Barbie, but what this movie is enforcing is that the meaning of Barbie has really shifted from one standard of beauty, one standard of womanhood, one standard of success. And it's more an embracing of whatever our unique beauty, gifts, and talents are, and that we can all be the best version of ourselves, and that's enough.
So it's not actually the first time we met. It was very brief, but it was at CCXP in Brazil. And you were promoting Birds of Prey. I was actually the host of like most panels, but
good
I
to
didn't
see you
host
again.
your panel, unfortunately. I know.
Still, doesn't matter. It was fun to be there.
I know, it was amazing, right?
Up until last night, that was the craziest thing I'd ever seen.
I can imagine.
But then how everyone showed up at the mall last night just actually topped Comic-Con. I couldn't believe it.
It's Barbie. You have to go back to Brazil though.
Oh, twist my arm. I love Brazil.
Can we go now?
Yeah,
Oh,
shall
please
we?
go. Go
Okay.
with me. I'll take you
Okay,
in my
it'll only
luggage.
take 30
Okay.
hours apparently, so.
Please come.
But you actually said there at the Birds of Prey panel that feminism wasn't only for girls
Yeah.
and women, it's for everybody. And I feel like that's the lesson here for this Barbie movie as well.
Yeah.
So can you elaborate a little bit on
Yeah,
that?
I think for a lot of people the word feminism has negative connotations attached to it. I think some people associate the word with meaning not liking men, which is not my definition of feminism at all. I think anyone who believes that men and women should be treated equally is a feminist. So any guy that believes that men and women should be treated equally is a feminist in my eyes. So yeah, when people ask, is this movie feminist, it's actually ironic because the power dynamic in Barbieland is actually in favor of the Barbies, not the Kens. So I'm trying to find the word that's like a step above feminism, where the women actually is a bit of like a matriarchy, I suppose. Yeah, the whole like gendered stereotypes and dynamics is very much the first layer of comedy in this film, and something that we poke fun at, but also use as a device to have interesting kind of cultural conversations. But then it quickly evolves from that point to being less about men or women or how we see ourselves and what we expect from each other, but more about humans and people in the world and just life in general. I think people will be surprised at how profound this movie gets and emotional at some point, but it really does become about life and why it's worth living.
Oh, nice.
And that's applicable for everyone.
I'm very excited to watch the movie.
Yeah, it's so fun. Why are these men looking at me?
Yeah, they're also staring at me.
So you are human in the movie, you're not a Barbie. Did you go to Barbieland at all, or to the sets?
I can say this because you see it in the latest trailer. My character and the girl who plays my daughter, Barbie takes us back to Barbieland. So I did get to spend a lot of time in Barbieland, and it was remarkable. I mean, the sets were literally breathtaking. I gasped the first day of filming when I walked in. And it just is so evocative of childhood and play and imagination and fun.
I wanted to ask Ken, so how did it feel to not be at the top for the first time as a male? Because in Barbieland, you're not. I'm sorry.
Yes, no, of course. Well, like I said, I think I grew up in a house that was similar, and I live in one now. So I felt at home in it.
Oh, that's amazing. That is amazing.
Did you bring your rollerblades?
I literally go nowhere without them.
So Greta is actually, up until now, known for directing indie movies, and now she's got this blockbuster on her hands. What was it like working for her and sharing this experience with her?
Incredible. I spoke to Greta, the first time we met was after I'd seen Lady Bird, and I really wanted to work with her. And in that first conversation, I got the sense of the scale of her ambition as a filmmaker, which is always really exciting. I love indie films, but I also love blockbuster films, but you need to also love that to want to make something at that scale. And it is a different set of muscles to use. And the way she captains this ginormous ship was just phenomenal to watch. But it is like a specific skill set. And she's just one of those one in a bazillion, once in a lifetime sort of directors who can do it all, who can do a indie and a giant summer blockbuster and always have the integrity of an auteur filmmaker and always be a lovely human being and your friend and be supportive and be funny and charming and all the things that Greta is. And when you know her and then when you see this film, you're like, oh, I see why this movie was made by Greta. It's so infused with her spirit and her personality traits. But a part of those things is being able to operate at such a huge scale, which she does in this movie.
How about you, Ryan? Your experience with Greta?
She's a genius. She is. It's pretty incredible to be around her and to see how she just inspires the best in everybody that she works with. There's so many layers to this film that it's like an amusement park. There's a ride for everyone, but it's also just a party that everyone's invited to. There's an energy to it. It's an experience, and it's an experience that's so strong that people are already having it.
Awesome.
We're having it right now.
I know, this is amazing.
I mean, Greta is so incredibly impressive. I never had a doubt in my mind that she was up to the task. She was so generous to me. I'm preparing to direct my first feature film as a director, and she invited me to shadow her. I sat in while she and Rodrigo made shot lists. I watched meetings about visual effects, and she walked me through the pre-production offices and the sheer scale of this film and everything that had to be figured out and decided, from like, is there water in this world? If not, what is the beach? Like, you know, so if there's no fire in the world, what does a campfire look like? I remember walking into her pink room, as she called it. It was like the pink room had every shade of pink in the world. And it was like, these pinks do not exist in Barbie land. And these are the pinks that do exist in Barbie land. And there were no whites in the world. What appears to be white is actually the lightest shade of pink. And I mean, just the levels and layers of thought and decision making was just awe-striking.
Thank you so much for your time, and I'm really excited to see the movie.
Thank you.
Thank
I
you.
hope you enjoy it.
Thank you guys so much for your time.
Thank you.
And congratulations on the movie, even though I didn't see it yet.
Thank
I know
you.
it's gonna be amazing.
I think you'll love it.
You guys ever think about dying?
Pronto, já foi o papo com a America Ferrera. Ela foi muito fofinha na entrevista, bem calma, ela tava bem zen e eu fiquei zen junto com ela. Foi muito gostoso. Eu ganhei um óculos do Ryan Gosling. E acho que é isso, né? Agora eu sou oficialmente uma Barbie. Beijo. Agora eu vou voltar pra casa também. Tchau.
Humans only have one ending.
Get that Barbie!
Ideas live forever.